So I have a lot of kiwis. We're eating a lot of them. They're good. They're delicious. They're full of vitamin C. But there's so many kiwis that we can eat as a family. So I decided to make some of them into a puree. So I took equal parts kiwi flesh, sugar, and water and made it into this nice greenish puree that's very sweet and delicious. And I wanted to use it in a play on a cocktail. So since kiwi is technically a berry, I was leaning towards a modern classic called Clover Club. So I'm gonna make a play on a Clover Club. We're gonna call it a Broken Club since we're gonna use broken shed vodka. So the nice vanilla notes from the vodka I figured would go pretty well with the kiwi, give it maybe a little bit of a sort of a pavlova vibe. And you get that using that nice froth of the egg white in the cocktail. So really what we have in the cocktail is the kiwi puree that we made, broken shed, an egg white. So we're gonna just use fresh egg. And I have a very cool use for the yellow, the yolk for you. And then just lemon juice. So let's get started. So to make our cocktail, we're gonna need an ice-filled glass to chill it, 2 ounces of broken shed, 1 ounce of our kiwi puree, 1 ounce of lemon juice, and then a whole egg white. If you want to use that egg yolk for something cool, you can cure your egg yolk in equal parts mixture of salt and sugar. After it cures, you'll need to dehydrate it. You can look online for different recipes on how to do that, but basically either a turned off oven or like an oven that goes really low, unless you just have a dehydrator at home. And you can grate that over things, including cocktails, and it gives this nice like nutty texture and or oily texture and like nutty flavor, kind of similar to Parmesan in a way, but not as salty. Now, if you don't have a shaker at home, please feel free to use just like a mason jar, a big jar. If you don't have a jigger at home, you can use either a measuring spoon that is equal, a tablespoon is equal to 15 milliliters, which are around half an ounce. Or if you have a shot glass is usually around an ounce. So if you just keep the proportions for 2 for the spirit, 1 for the sweetener, 1 for the lemon juice, and then the 1 egg white, you should be fine. So we're gonna go to my garage right now to shake this cocktail since my girls are already asleep. Don't wanna make too much noise. Be right back. Okay, so we're in my garage. We can be a little louder now. So when you shake, you want to basically chill the cocktail, dilute it a little bit, and introduce a lot of air, especially when we're using either egg whites or anything that will froth it. So in our case, we want to do 2 shakes. So there's definitely different techniques to do this. I like to do it with shaking once with ice to dilute first, and then shaking it again to get a nice froth. But I'm going to show you a nice trick for at home if you're not comfortable, if you're feeling that your froth might not get as dense and nice as you see it in bars. So this is a nice little cheat. So shake it up just until it's chilled. So once it's chilled and nice, we're going to open it up. And we're just going to strain out the liquid into... So if you have one of these for your stick blender, just strain it out of the ice. We just want the liquid. And this will help us get a really nice froth that is kind of harder to get in a shake, especially if you're not experienced behind the bar and shaking, and you're not caught up on your technique, and you just want to get a good cocktail. You don't want to like do anything fancy right now. You take the stick blender, you just shove it in there. A lot of bars do it nowadays. It's actually really smart and convenient. You give it a blitz, and you're basically frothing it up. And a really, really nice froth without having to strain yourself. All you gotta do now is just clean that piece off. Just throw it in the dishwasher, if it's dishwasher safe, of course. And that's it. And we're gonna strain this into our cocktail glass and enjoy it. Okay, so we have our glass. I'm just gonna dump the ice. And all the water that's in it. So our glass is nice and chilled. We have this blitzed cocktail that we frothed up like crazy with our stick blender. So now we're just gonna pour it through a fine mesh strainer, and that will get that froth nice and dense. So look in the cup the same way as it does when you're ordering it in the bar, nice and thick. You'll be able to draw on it with bitters if you want. You can kind of even spray if you make a stencil. If you've seen that in bars, they spray bitters through like an atomizer and through a stencil, so you get like a nice pattern on it. So you can get creative if you wanted to, but right now we're just doing it for fun and for me to have a nightcap. So that's all strained out. We have a nice thick foam over here. So on top, I'm gonna take the yolk that I made and cured ahead of time. So you see it turns opaque, and then you can just kind of grate it over. And that is just bar quality drink at your house. So all of our hard work paid off. Now get to enjoy a nice little nightcap in front of the TV, stream something nice before I go to sleep. Cheers.